Hey guys, welcome back to the Head Up Rugby League podcast. We're here with Josh and Connor as always, and we've got a special guest on today. We've got Jordan Kahu. How are you, man?
Good, thanks. Thanks for having me, boys. I'm a bit late, but I'm glad I finally made it.
Pleasure's all ours, mate. Thanks for taking the time. What we're going to do is we're just going to quickly just run through your career and a bit of your playing career and history and see how it goes from there.
Sweet. Keen ass.
Yeah, so what we like to do at the start of every podcast, Jordan, is we like to do a thing called the set of six. So I'm going to ask you 6 quick fire questions and you just answer with what you have to say. You cool with that?
Okay, sweet. Yeah, bro, sweet. Are they tough ones or what?
We'll see.
Right, okay. All right,
what was your favourite NRL career moment?
Māori's All-Stars game, probably. That was up there, along with my Kiwis debut. They're both like, it's hard to choose one or the other, but they're both up there.
Happy to hear NZ in there.
Yeah,
which team are your favourites to win the premiership this year?
This year, Storm are always up there, and yeah, Penrith. I'll say Penrith. I like to see them go back to back.
Do you have any dark horses to win it?
Warriors, up the Warriors. Let's go.
Next question. Are you a fan of the new rule changes, like such as the 6 again and the 2040 and all that? Are you a fan of those?
I'm a fan of the. Yeah, I actually am. It's exciting. It's changing the game up a little bit. The new 2-point field goal is pretty cool as well. Even though, like, if I was still playing, there's no way I'd have the legs to hit one of those. But yeah, I like it. It's a bit of a change, and it's not too much structurally, apart from the 6 again rule. The other two kind of fit in nicely.
Fair. Who is the most exciting player to watch in the NRL for you personally?
Manu. He's probably my favorite player. Like, even when I was kind of finishing, I was still a fan of his. He's just a beast, man. He's a beast. So he'd be my favorite to watch.
Absolutely, he's a stud. Did you have any pre-game rituals or superstitions?
So I always had a block of chocolate the night before. And what else did I do? And I never, so we used to have to weigh into before games, and I never would look at my weight because I was too worried about like how it would play on my mind. So I'd always get one of the coaching staff to come over, and it kind of become a ritual because I did it for so long that they'd just see me weighing in and I'd just come and stand there.
But before the next question, because it's going to bug me, what is your favorite chocolate?
Caramello, bro. That was my go-to. Block of caramello.
That's the one.
Right. Yeah. If it wasn't that, it was Black Forest.
Ooh. Can't go wrong with that. And then last one. Which team was your favorite team to play against in the NRL and why?
Probably the Storm, because throughout my era, they're probably the most consistent and the best. So I'd have to say them, because it's always just a hard test. I think I've only beaten them once or twice, but they were always, such a good challenge and a good kind of benchmark team to test yourself up against, especially in the outside backs. I've always had gunner outside backs, so if you thought you were doing well, it was always cool to play against them and test yourself.
Yeah. So one thing we actually haven't done this before, so we're trialing it out, is we're going to do like a trivia sort of thing. So we're going to ask you one question about your career and just see if you can get it. So talking about teams you played against, which NRL team did you think you played against the most in your career? If you had to guess.
The Cowboys.
That is correct. Well done. You played a little.
Hey!
Yeah,
because we'd always play them twice. So I knew it would be like a Queensland team because we'd always play them twice. Mm. And they're probably the teams that we played the most in the finals. Mm. So I'm stoked I got that.
All right, getting it started. So I heard you grew up in Wellington and you went to Wellington College. How was that experience like with the culture of McKibbity and which is an athletics event for those listening, and just the culture of Wellington College?
It was pretty crazy. They're quite traditional. I came from like a super not traditional school in Lower Hutt. So like going to Cole was a big difference, and
Yeah.
having to wear your uniform perfect pretty much every day was a big learning curve for me. And just the culture, the traditions they had, like you said, McKibbity was cool to be a part of. And obviously coming from a co-ed school to an all boys school, it's got that camaraderie there. Everyone's just super close, and you're super you just hate other schools from literally just going to one school. I always speak about it with some of my St. Pat's mates, and I'm like, what? Like, why would we hate each other for so long? We only just like went to two different schools, like just up the road. But like all that stuff, all the rugby games and stuff like that were super dope. And I just I love that type of stuff. I feel like the States do it really well. And in New Zealand, especially in the rugby union scene, like they do it really well there too. So it was cool to be a part of that while I was at Cole.
Yeah. Personally, I'm an old boy of Wellington College myself, so I loved
Let's
all
go.
and we actually have an old boy of St. Pat's Wellington College St. Pat's Wellington over here with Josh.
Hey,
Let's go.
a dirty boy, eh?
Yeah.
It
Proud.
was a bit of a
That's so good.
growing up was a bit, this and that, but no, we've stayed good friends, so it's been good. But yeah, you played a bit of rugby union as well growing up, and I heard that you played with Lima Sopoanga. So do you remember much of him, and what was he like playing with?
Yeah, so me and that guy grew up since we were like 3 together. So we're like best mates from a real young age. Our parents were friends, and we lived on like the same street in Ellistown. So we grew up together. We're super competitive. We were like brothers though. So they used to have to separate us in classes at primary school because we'd fight too much. We'd try to beat each other in anything. So growing up, I played a lot of footy. He started in the forwards. He started as like a flanker, and then he just stayed little. So he obviously couldn't stay in there. So he moved out to the backs, and he was always pretty much first five, and I was always either second five or fullback.
Oh, nice.
I don't know about you guys, but that sounds like a pretty deadly combination in school.
Yeah, I think throughout our whole junior footy, we probably only lost a handful of games. We just had it was always a good group of us. So it was always me, Lima, our brothers. We had a couple of other brothers, the Hurstich boys. They were also from Cole. They went to Hibs first, but moved to Cole. And we were kind of always together. So we had the good group of core players, and our dads were all the coaches. And coming through, we just used to, pretty much towel teams up all the time.
Yeah, for sure. I heard you mention your brothers. Obviously, your brother Jared was a big part of your upbringing. He was obviously a very talented rugby league player. How important was Jared for your development, and how important is he to you as a person?
Yeah, growing up, like I told you a story about Alima, I was the same with my brother. We were just super competitive. It was like racing to the car to get front seats and stuff like that. But like having that competitiveness growing up with an older brother, kind of that was also good at sport, obviously paved the way for me to be the best in my age. And we were always testing ourselves. I think from a young age we were super focused, and the both of us would always, like no questions asked. Our parents didn't even have to get us like down there. We would just head down to the nearest park and kick a footy around just to practice. And from a young age, like having someone to do that with obviously helped my development a lot. And then growing up, seeing him pull away from professional sport and kind of learn a new trade outside of sport. And I felt like he kind of wasn't playing for the right reasons towards the end of when he was chasing the dream, and he was kind of doing it just to please others. And I think he was a bit over that, and it taught me, you know, a big lesson of, you know, just to chase what you want and not what other people want. And yeah, he's my old brother, and we're super close. And yeah, he's been huge for my career.
Yeah. So you had to move over to Australia with him, I heard, and you obviously went to Kahu Park, which for rugby league fans is like the heartland of rugby league. What was that like for your development, and what made the school so special, in your opinion?
So when I had the opportunity to move over, I had to choose from 3 schools. It was 2 down in Sydney and Kiwis Park. And coming from a union background, that I didn't know what the other schools were, and I only knew of Kiwis Park. So because of Benji Marshall, and that was, you know, the first thing that popped in my mind. I'd been to the Gold Coast once before. I'd never been to Sydney, so I was super keen on choosing Kiwis Park. And I think, like, as you can see, a lot of the boys that come out of Kiwis Park, just the way that they train, from, like, not even now, like a lot of schools are doing it now, but from 10, 15, 20 years ago, they've been doing that system for a long time. And you see the boys that come out of there, they're just super ready and super, you know, yeah, they're ready for the next level, which I feel like a lot of schools are catching on to now. But just their system that they've had in place, and the professionalism that they demand from the students in the rugby league program, just sets everyone up for a good stead to transition to pro footy.
Yeah. So talking about like the next level, you just said was the NYC Pathway when you were growing up. What was playing in like the Holden Cup, Toyota Cup like for you?
It was cool because you, even though you hadn't made it yet, like, you felt like you had. I think that's part of the reason why they stopped doing it, because a lot of these young boys thought they'd cracked it, and they hadn't. But it was cool traveling, you know, every weekend to, you know, Sydney, Melbourne, New Zealand, to play, you know, curtain raiser to the NRL. It was just like, it was awesome. And if you don't get trapped in kind of that mindset, like you've already cracked it, then I feel like it was good. And yeah, it was so dope to play in. And the team that I had my first year, I think we had, you know, 3/4 of that team end up playing in NRL. So it was yeah, such a cool experience, and especially coming straight out of school to kind of learn that, you know, that travel, getting that you know, getting that little teaser of what it's like to be a pro athlete before you actually was cool.
Yes. So moving forward to 2013, you ended up making your debut in round 4, I believe, for the Brisbane Broncos. How special, like, was it making your debut, and what was like the coming week before your debut?
Yeah, but it was super special. I think not only just because it was my debut, it was more so of the 2 years of pain I went through in 11 and 12. That was probably why the moment meant so much to me. Just thinking it was all over, you know, coming out of Kibra as, I know, like, touted as the, you know, hottest schoolboy, and then playing 20s and then getting injured for 2 years, you know, like a lot of people would have doubted me. And for me to finally get that crack was just something that seemed like it was never going to happen, and to finally get it was super cool. And I didn't get told until the day, was it the day before or 2 days before? Justin Hodges went down in training, so I wasn't actually meant to play. He got injured in training, done his hamstring, and then I got told the day, a couple of days before. So, like, I didn't really get to prepare. It was kind of like, you're playing in 2 days. So it was pretty crazy. Like, those days, I can't even remember much. I can remember getting the phone call, exactly where I was, and just being told that, you know, I wasn't allowed to tell anyone. They didn't want the media finding out that I was playing, and that I was only allowed to tell my direct family. So it was yeah, it was a surreal moment, just for the fact that I didn't think it was going to happen.
Yeah, for sure. How was it getting through those injuries mentally? And was it very rewarding to be able to overcome that injury and get into the first grade?
Yeah, mentally, like, played a lot. I think the first time it happened, I didn't have a clue what type of work I was in for. And, I kind of went it throughout that year, just going through the process. I was in the NRL system already, so I was like carrying on a little bit, to be honest. And I didn't, put my body first, and I didn't focus so much on what I needed to get back to. And I really struggled that year, and it was good in a way, because when I done it my knee again in the first game back, it was kind of like a big wake up call. Even though I missed 2 years of footy, it was a massive wake up call for me. As soon as I sat on the bus after the trial, I was just like, all right, I've got to change everything I did in the last year and really, nail down everything, and my diet, drinking, and just make sure my mental state was good, so I could just completely focus on where I needed to be. I knew I was never going to give up, because that dream of playing like professional sport was still burning so deeply in me, and I knew I wouldn't stop till I got there. So that second time around, I just made sure I didn't leave any stones unturned and just had a good crack.
That's sick. I might bring it back to the trivia, because I had a question here. So you scored a double. Your first try was against a team, and you got a double that day. Do you know what team you scored the double against?
Yeah, the Eels.
How was that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was dope. It was obviously my first tries. I can't remember how many games exactly I'd played, but I knew those two were my first. And I remember, I think the first one I pointed for like a grubber. I seen the winger was up, and I wasn't expecting it, and it was the knee that I'd stepped off and done my ACL twice on, that I stepped off, and I remember I went and loaded up on it, and I stepped, and I was like, oh, nothing broke, and then I kind of like split second just ran through and scored, and scoring the first try was pretty cool.
Yeah. So as a fan, I personally love versatile players, especially in the backs, and you're obviously one of them. You played fullback, wing, centre. You play anywhere. My question is, which one was your favourite?
Definitely fullback. I think it was a blessing and a curse, like sometimes, because I'd really find my feet in one position, and then in a game, as soon as someone went down, I was just waiting for the trainer to run out. I'd be like, Jordan, you're going over there. Jordan, you're going there. Or the next week, if someone got hurt, I'd always be waiting for the tap on the shoulder to say that I'd be playing in a different position. So it was always tough in a way. I think 2015 was my first year. I had a real good, solid stint at fullback when Darius Boyd done his ACL and his Achilles, sorry. And I just loved it. I remember I didn't want to move. I didn't want like selfishly, I didn't want him to come back and play, because I was loving playing fullback.
Yeah, obviously. So it's one of the most special moments for any players playing for your country, and you got to represent New Zealand a couple times. And what is it like putting on that jersey and singing the national anthem for the first time?
It was crazy. I grew up a huge, like crazy All Blacks fan, so I was like, up early hours of the morning watching the games when they played the Springboks and stuff like that. So growing up, like it was like, singing the anthem, doing the haka, just like putting on the black jersey was awesome. So I remember walking out and getting ready for the anthems, and the whole time I was just like, I can't believe I'm here. Like it was just crazy to finally be there. Like part of it now looking back, it just feels like a dream sometimes, but it's just so crazy. Like I said, like the couple years before, I thought I was never going to have a crack, and then a couple years later, I'm playing for the Kiwis, and it was just it was crazy.
Yeah, as proud New Zealanders, we're similar. Love watching the All Blacks, and I personally love watching the Kiwis against the Kangaroos. That's such a big game for me. I love it. You played the Kangaroos 5 times in your career. Some may say the best Kangaroos team ever. What was that like to play against?
Yeah, I don't think I won any of those either. But yeah, like the Storm, it was always good to kind of test yourself against the best. And obviously, representing your country, you want to do the best for your country, and it was always hard losing. I was always so bitter. I was always like, even with my teammates, like my Broncos teammates that were in the Kangaroo squad, like some of them would try and say hi to me in the game, and I'll brush them because I was like, I'm representing my country right now. I'm not talking to you, bro. Like we're not mates right now. But it was cool playing them. But I'm filthy. I never got the dub against them.
Yeah, for sure. Another great career highlight I'd like to mention is you actually played in the 2015 Grand Final. Unfortunately, couldn't quite get the win, but people say it was the best game of all time. How was it playing in that, and what was the feelings in the shed after that one?
Yeah, like as crazy as it is, it's definitely something that's on my list of one of the games that I enjoyed being in. I just think the lead up to the whole week, winning the semi, and then knowing that you're going to be in the Jeff was crazy. Just the whole week, going on the footy show, doing all these like events and appearances throughout the whole week. It's just a sick lead up to the game, and then obviously playing in the game was just crazy. I think there was like 82,000 people there, running out, and it's just like you could feel the breath of the crowd. Like it was quite hot there. Other night, I remember running out. I just felt like it just like hit me in the face. It was just like this crazy atmosphere. Crowd was going wild, and I remember like 82,000 people, and I seen my brother like straight away. I picked him out of the crowd straight away, like the first person I saw in the crowd, and I was like these are the games that I want to play. And obviously it didn't go our way. It was super tough. Like a lot of little things that kind of led to big things, and then the boys getting just, pumped for some of the mistakes they made was a bit unfair. And it was crazy. It was just a crazy game to be a part of. And kind of when we lost, it was just like, one of those things you're like, just did it really happen? Like I can't believe, all that build up, and then we didn't win. Like it just got taken from us. But being a part of one of the best grand finals ever, or if not the best grand final ever, was definitely cool. My dad's actually I actually took them down because I was sick of seeing them. There's these 3 tickets like wedged into my debut jersey up there, and I took them down because I was I seen it enough when I went to the Cowboys in 2019. I seen enough of the posters and stuff like that.
Yeah, sure. As you mentioned just then, you actually went to the Cowboys in 2019. Was there any bad blood when you went there? Because I feel like you definitely started to find some form there.
No bad blood at all. It was cool because I kind of played against those boys for a long time, and there's a few like ex-Broncos there at the time as well that I'd known. But it was funny. Like the code on the door to get in the gym was 1716, which was the score of the 2015 GF. So every morning I had to put it fucking 1716 into to get inside. And then you walk in and there's a big poster of them holding the trophy and stuff like that. So every morning I was reminded, and then like there'd be little times where the boys would bring it up, just jokingly though. It's funny. I remember we were in one training session and I got the ball and I flicked, like I did a flick pass, and I think it missed, and it was an error or something. And Gavin Cooper is like, "Brother, we don't do like no look flick passes here." I was like, "Mate, you took a ring off my finger with one of those." So it was kind of funny, but I loved my time up there. I think I just had no expectations. I had a coaching staff that really appreciated my talent, my skills. And they, just having that from your coaches, and me just going out there and having fun playing footy again with the team that always had a crack was cool, and I guess it showed in my footy.
Yeah. Now recently I've noticed a passion of yours is photography. Has it always been a passion of yours, and how did you get into it?
Yeah, I bought a GoPro in like 2011, like real early. I was always quite creative growing up. just little things, I'd make mosaics and stuff like home. My mum would be like doing something and I just help her. I think it comes from her because she was quite artsy. So yeah, I got a GoPro in like 2011, 2012, and I just started taking that on like little trips, going to the beach and stuff and trying to do weird stuff. And that's kind of where it started. And then I had kids in 2015 and we just wanted, nice photos of, of the kids. And that's kind of when I first started getting a camera and really getting into photography. And then, 2015, I did like a GoPro video of my Kiwis tour. And that kind of went well. And I was just like, okay, this is like something that no other footy player is doing. And I was super keen to start sharing like more behind the scenes stuff. And and just because I was creative, I always had that passion to create. So it kind of just fell into place, and gear started getting more expensive. And just as it went on, I just started loving it more and more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of watching Chad Townsend's behind the scenes on YouTube. Do you watch him?
Yeah, bro. Yeah. He's good. Like I wish I was doing it, a lot earlier and for a lot longer. And Chad he's doing it real well.
Yeah, for sure. Back in 2019, a game that was very, very memorable for me as a Cowboys fan was when the Cowboys came over to Mount Smart and we bet the Warriors 17-10. And after the game, it's actually my tripod today. You actually gave me a boot of yours.
Let's go. No way. That's sick.
Hangs up in my room, bros. Much appreciated.
Yes, bro. Easy, lad. That's sick.
Yeah, like those are the best things like that you can have, So,
yeah,
really
sure. That's that. Like over my career, I was always, like I can't give boots away now because I don't get free boots every week. But like back when I was playing footy, I was always, it was always cool to kind of give stuff away like that because I'm a sports fan myself, and if I like got something like that from Christian Cullen and Jonah Lomu, stuff like that, I knew how much, even though I'm not on their level, but like I just knew how much it would impact me as a kid, and I always try to do little things like that just because I knew how much it meant to people.
Yeah, it's absolutely sick, man.
That's so dope, bro.
Yeah.
That's sick.
Retirement can be hard for a lot of people, but you've seemed to transition well from outside of sports. What are you doing to keep yourself busy these days?
So I'm a full-time like videographer, photographer now. So that's just that's pretty much all I do. I do a lot of like commercial work, weddings. I'm kind of just saying yes to everything at the moment, but it's obviously a passion of mine. I kind of hung the footy boots up, and I was kind of lucky that I found another passion that I could dive into and really enjoy as well. But yeah, it has its challenges, and it's definitely not the paycheck of a footy player, but it's it's super rewarding, and being able to kind of grow that on my own. I related to it to footy in one of my last videos. I was kind of like, footy was kind of up to me how big or small I wanted to be, or how successful I wanted to be. And I guess this is pretty similar, and it's kind of up to me, to really take my company to where I want it to be.
Yeah, and just before we finish off, I see you're into your gaming nowadays. Me, Josh, and Connor, we love our gaming on the PlayStation. So what are your favorite games to play, and are you any good at them?
But I only play Call of Duty, to be honest. I tried to jump on Fortnite a while ago because I played Fortnite ages ago, but I'm trash. I was always trash at the building. That's why I went back to COD. But mostly just COD, and I'll have a random game of FIFA here and there. I used to be way better at FIFA, and I'd always I'd call everyone out, and no one could beat me. But now I don't think that's the case.
Yeah, I think you've just called out all of our favorite games as well.
Yeah, dope.
Hey, Fortnite has a no builds thing now. We might have to get you on the squad, bro.
Yeah, bro. I seen that, but I was struggling. I was struggling, and I hate being shit at something. So I was like, nah, I'm going back to COD. Glory to God. I was playing solo as well. So obviously it helps when you got a good crew and good banter, but I was playing solo, so I was struggling. So might have to add you boys up after this.
Yeah, Connor's actually one of a really good Fortnite player. He's been teaching us a lot, so you might learn a few things from him.
Oh, really? Really? I was going to say, because I don't want to come across if you guys are bots. I don't want to come across and get pumped. I'll come across and get carried, but.
Yeah, right.
Have you boys got any more questions?
No, I'm good.
No, that's sweet. Yeah, we appreciate your time, Jordan. It's much appreciated to have you on. You've been a good chat, and we wish you nothing but the best, bro. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, likewise, boys. Thanks so much for having me on.
Thanks,
No
mate.
worries.